So today's video will be very long, value packed, and maybe even a little bit boring, but guess what? If you will actually stick through the entire thing, you will learn everything you need to know about how to run profitable Facebook ads, just like I have for my clients over here. You will learn the ins and outs of Facebook ads, and most importantly, how to generate some solid results. Who is this video is for? This video is for business owners, and that covers any type of business out there, local businesses, digital products, and e-commerce businesses that need new paying customers. Agency owners, I want this video will be your go-to video for having a solid, profitable marketing strategy for your clients that will actually generate them results. There will be no fluff, no hidden information, and it might even not be the best edited. However, all of that is just to make sure you get everything as it actually is and as authentic as possible. My main goal in this video is to take anyone that doesn't know anything about Facebook ads or how to run them profitably to a fully knowledgeable digital marketer with a solid strategy. I will also be sharing some of the tools and analytics that I'm using to generate these results for my clients, so you can simply copy and paste exactly how I run my Facebook ads. So with that being said, let's jump straight into it. All right, so the first thing will be the business manager. So I do see still a lot of questions, especially from my clients, that they still don't understand exactly what is a business manager and what's the difference between a business manager and a personal ad account. So to kind of explain that really simple, is basically a business manager is kind of like a place to hold all of your assets. So for example, if you have multiple pages, ad accounts, so instead of only your personal profile controlling those assets, inside a business manager you are able to have all these assets, and you can even have multiple people controlling those assets. So it's a great way to have everything in one place. And for e-commerce specifically, pretty much will not be able to run ads if you don't have a business manager, because to be able to set up the right conversion events and stuff like that for Facebook Pixel, then basically you will have to have or upgrade to a business manager. So it's pretty much mandatory by Facebook. So what I want to do is you want to go to business.facebook.com. Make sure that you are actually logged in to your Facebook profile from that browser, because maybe you already have a business manager and you don't know. So you want to make sure that you don't create a second one that is not necessary. If you still get this page to create a new business manager, so go ahead and just click create. It's pretty straightforward. I will just show you in just a sec how to do it. And if you already have a business manager, then just skip this step. All right, so I'm logged in to my profile now, and as you can see, I already have one business manager on this profile, but I will still create a new one just for the example. So first what I will do is I will click create. Over here, basically you want to type in just the name of your, let's say, the company. Over here you're going to just to type in your name as it's shown on Facebook, and over here you want to add in your business email or the best email that Facebook will be basically updating you about everything to that email. All right, now that we created the new business manager, I want to take you to the most important part or place of the actual business manager. Many people cannot find this sometimes for some reason. So it's going to be your business settings. So this is where you're going to add people, add your pages, create ad accounts, add your payment methods. This is where you're going to really run and manage everything in all the assets of Facebook. So let's go to business settings. All right, and now let's go over the most important things that you have here in the business settings. First one, and probably the most important, it's the people, okay, under the users. So this is basically the section of all the people that have access and some kind of control over your business manager. You might have multiple admins just in terms of a protection of your business manager in case something happens to one of your profiles. Another option that you might have for people having access to the business manager is obviously employee access. So for example, my clients, not all of them, or at least the ones that are not e-commerce clients, they don't need to give me an admin access. So I always ask them to give me just an employee access, which is very simple to do. You just click on this blue button, and over here you want to type in the email address of that specific person, and you can see that you have two options over here, which this is the employee access and this will be the admin access. With both of them, after you going to type in the email over here, you will be able to select which assets do you want this person to have access to. Moving on to the accounts section over here. So under accounts you have pages, ad accounts, Instagram accounts, WhatsApp accounts. So the main ones are going to be probably probably pages and ad accounts. Pages, it's pretty straightforward, is where you're going to have all of your pages. Let's say if your profile already has a page, right? When you create a new business manager, you will not see this page over here. So what you need to do is you want to click add, and then in this section over here, you have multiple options. You have option to add a page, you have an option to request access to a page, and you have an option to create a new page. So adding a page, this is basically when you already have a page that you created using your profile and you just simply want to attach it or add it to the business manager. Request access to a page is when there is already an existing page that you don't own the page but you want to request access. And the last one is creating a page from scratch. Let's go ahead and make an example and create just a new page really quick. So over here, Facebook asks you just to select what type of business do you have, whether it's a brand or product, whether you're artist or band, or whether you're a local business. So let's go ahead and just select local business. Then let's go ahead and name the page. The category over here, just go ahead and select the most relevant category for you. And lastly, the street and address, and hit create page. The next thing that we have will be the ad accounts. Basically is your ads manager, and this is where you're going to spend most of your time. So this is where you're going to create your campaigns, your ads, doing all the testing, scaling and stuff like that. We still don't have any ad account over here, and over here you also have the same rules with the page. So if you already have a personal ad account that you run your ads on, then I will actually recommend you just to attach this ad account, personal ad account, to the business manager instead of creating a new one, because usually if you already have or already run ads, it's just less likely to get any restrictions or suspensions if you already add an existing assets instead of creating new ones. So let's click create. Ad account name, we'll do test 1. At the time zone, make sure to select the right time zone and where you at, or for example, if you run an e-commerce shop, make sure that the time zone of your ads manager is congruent with the time zone of your actual store. And lastly, it's going to be the currency you want Facebook to charge you. Let's hit next. Then over here, basically want to select my business and click create. Over here again, if you're going to have someone that is also attached to this business manager that you will want to give him access to this new ad account, so all you need to do is select his name over here, and then you want to select which access do you want to give him. Unless it's not a profile that is owned by you and you giving access to an agency or something like that, then just give them the access of managing and running campaigns and click assign. All right, so the Instagram and WhatsApp account, I will not touch it because I'm not going to create an Instagram account for this tutorial. So the next thing that we'll go for will be data sources. Very, very important section, especially for e-commerce. The data sources are mainly going to be related to people that drive their traffic outside Facebook. Meaning if you have, let's say, even an opt-in page that you want to get leads, you will have to install a Facebook pixel on your website, so Facebook will be able to track the data and you will be able to see this data on your ads manager. So it's not just for e-commerce stores, so it's for anything like digital products, opt-in pages, landing pages. Now about the catalogs over here, this is more related to online shops. So usually, for example, with Shopify, WordPress, which are the most popular platforms to host your e-commerce shop, when you install the Facebook app or sales channel on this platform, these platforms will automatically create a catalog for you. So it's pretty straightforward to do it. So you don't need to do anything really manually over here, adding products on your own. Now let's talk about a little bit the pixel, which is something that people maybe not fully understand. Basically, the Facebook pixel is just a piece of code that whenever you send traffic outside Facebook, Facebook needs to be able to follow the journey of those customers and see what type of actions they take on your website, and based on that, optimize their performance. So whenever you send people outside Facebook, you have to make sure you install this piece of code so Facebook will be able to track all of this data. If you run, like, let's say leads campaign and you use instant forms, then you will not be using the pixel because you are not sending anyone outside Facebook. So this is again only applicable if your ad contains a link that is taking the traffic outside Facebook. I do have a full tutorial about how to install your Facebook pixel into Shopify, which is the most popular e-commerce platform. So I will link it somewhere up here. All right, so moving on to brand safety. This is probably going to be more applicable if you're going to send traffic outside Facebook. So this is going to be where you add your domains or domains of that particular store or website that you want to send traffic to. So after the iOS 14 update, Facebook asks to verify your domain to make sure that you are the owner of this domain. And all you need to do is just to go ahead and click create new domain, and you want to type in your domain over here. Let's try to add an example. All right, so as you can see, I've added a domain and now it asks me to verify the domain. So it's really straightforward, and the easiest way in my opinion just to go ahead and do it with the DNS settings. So you click on that and it just asks you to go ahead and copy this code and install this code in your DNS settings of your domain provider. So whether you bought your domain from Namecheap, GoDaddy, or you bought it straight from Shopify, then all you need to do is just to go to DNS settings and add a TXT record and paste this code, and then come back to this page, refresh it and click verify domain, and your domain will be instantly verified. Again, I will have a tutorial exactly explains how to do it step by step. The last thing over here in the business manager, which is also very important, is the payment methods. So at this part, basically this is going to be the payment methods of the actual business manager. You can also add payment method individually per ad account. I personally do not recommend it because when you're just starting off, you're probably going to have only one ad account, but the more you go into progress and the better your ads are going to become, you will understand that you want to have multiple ad accounts for backup purposes, for testing purposes, and for scaling purposes. So instead of every single time adding your payment method to this specific ad account, you will just be able to use the business manager payment method and start running ads on this ad account. Now that we understand what is the business manager, how to set up everything, and how to configure all of our settings, let's go to the most important part of this video and Facebook ads in general, which is going to be your ads manager. So as of right now, we don't have anything over here, obviously, because we still haven't created anything, but let me explain you just a couple of things that we have over here. So this over here is going to be the ad account ID. So if you're going to run multiple ad accounts, or let's say you have a personal one, and then you will be able to see all the ad accounts over here. If you're on an agency, for example, and your profile is connected to multiple business managers, then you will need to actually to switch to a different business manager, and then you will be able to select the different ad accounts. So for example, we will click over here and then it will select the other business manager, and then you will be able to see the different ad accounts under that specific business manager. The main three things that you would like to understand on the ads manager is you need to differentiate or know how to differentiate between the different main tabs or main components that you have inside the ads manager, which is your campaigns, ad sets, and ads. Now, just to kind of break it down to you in the most simple way, is the campaigns over here. This is going to be the kind of the first layer. So that's going to be the what you try to get out of Facebook. So whether you run leads ads, whether you want to get sales on your online shop, so you need to let Facebook know exactly what you want to get from Facebook. We'll do an example campaign where I'm going to cover all the different type of objectives that you have on Facebook. Now the second tab over here that we have, and this is the lower layer, is going to be the ad sets. So an ad set is basically the group of people that is going to see your ad. So this is where you tell Facebook, I want to, let's say, show my ads to people that are interested in dog products or pet products, for example. So Facebook needs to know to who to show your ads to. And lastly, the ads tab is going to be the creative or what people are going to see. So whether it's going to be the image ad you created, a video ad, or it might be even a carousel ad with multiple products. So this is visually what people are going to see. So again, the what we're trying to get from Facebook, who is going to see our ads, and the actual visual ads that they're going to see. Another thing that you have over here is going to be a time frame. So let's say when you do run ads, you optimize ads. So many times I'm using the 7 days time frame. So that helps me to know exactly what happened the last 7 days. You might start a campaign which will start really good, and within a month it will start decreasing in performance. And if you will take, let's say, maximum time or the last 30 days, you're not going to see the decline of the performance of the ads. So this is why I personally work many times with the last 7 days, because this way it really allows me to catch those declining ad sets or ads and make the optimization based on that. All right, so let's go ahead and see on the campaigns tab what type of objectives do we have. So let's click on create and let's scroll down to this part. part. So the main categories that Facebook gives you is awareness, traffic, engagement, leads, app promotion, and sales. Now the most popular ones are obviously going to be sales, leads, and I will say a little bit of engagement, and all the rest of them are less effective, at least in my opinion. So awareness over here, this just might be kind of more of reach, is just to try to push your ads to as many people as possible without any specific goal. It's just to get to the most amount of people that Facebook can push your ads to as much as possible. Then the traffic is just simply traffic. So if you want to get a lot of traffic to your website, then you can select this objective over here. I would say that you're going to experience a very low quality. So whenever I see e-commerce shops trying to run ads using traffic campaigns, they will end up getting even, let's say, thousands of visitors to their website, but not even a single person adding to cart or completing any purchase. Many times people will just use the Facebook recommendations that they suggest you to boost ads, and Facebook automatically select traffic as their objective, which I don't really understand why. It's just easier to get your ads running and start seeing visitors on your website, because you can do it without the actual technical optimization, pixel installation that you need to do for sales or purchases. But you will see that if you will use this objective for an online website, you're not going to get any type of conversions or results besides just traffic. That's it. The next one will be engagement. So basically engagement is straightforward as it sounds. So it's going to be engagement, like you can get page likes, you can get post likes, video views, stuff like that. Now I will give you a small secret, you can say, that you can actually use engagement to generate leads. It does depend on the country that you try to run ads, but you can actually generate leads through engagement. I'll make sure to create a full tutorial about all the different options that you have to create the leads campaigns and which ones are the best. But the most popular one and the most common one that you're probably going to use the most is going to be our next objective, which is going to be leads. This objective is strictly generating leads, and you have multiple options or ways to generate leads. So it can be through instant forms, through messenger, you can have calls. So we'll touch on that a little bit more on the Adset level. The next we have is app promotion. So I've never used it because I've never promoted any apps on Facebook. And the last one, which is probably also one of the top and the most common ones, is going to be sales, which this is mainly going to be used for e-commerce website. It might be physical products, digital products. This is going to be the category or the objective that you're going to select. So let's go ahead and create an example campaign, and for this one I will select the objective leads. So we'll click on leads and we'll click continue, and as you can see this window over here popped up, and this is where you're going to basically fill out all the information to create and schedule your campaign to start running. So as I said before, we have three levels, right? We have the campaign level, then you have the ad set level, which is going to be the group of people that we're going to target on Facebook, and you can actually have multiple ad sets inside or under one campaign. So it's very common to test out multiple groups of people to try to find the best one for your goal. And lastly, we have the ad, which is the actual visual creative that we're going to show to the people on Facebook, and that as well, you can have multiple ads under the same ad set. Usually when I start a new campaign, I'll probably have anywhere between 2 to 5 ad sets, which each ad set will kind of test a different group of people, and I will have anywhere between 2 to 3 different ads under each ad set to see actually which visual or which creative works the best for this specific audience. So let's go ahead and start creating this campaign, and the more we will progress, you will see exactly what I mean. All right, so we'll name this campaign test leads campaign. Then the rest of the things over here you don't really need to touch besides this thing over here. At the beginning, when I'm starting off in a brand new ad account from scratch, then I always keep this as it is with the off option, because first let me explain you what that is. At the past, it was not advantage campaign budget, it was campaign budget optimization. Maybe you heard the term CBO. So basically what it does is Facebook gives you an option over here to manage the budget on the campaign level over here. So if you're going to turn this one on, then Facebook tells you, hey, how much would you like to spend on this campaign. The reason why I would like to choose that is because if you're going to put over here, okay, I want to spend $50 on this campaign and I want to have 20 ad sets, right? And this way, it doesn't really matter how many ad sets are you going to run inside this campaign. This campaign will still only be spending maximum of $50 per day. Another great reason why I do use CBOs is because CBOs, at least from my experience, I found them to be more consistent and more scalable, meaning that you can expect kind of getting the same, let's say, cost per result very consistently, and it's much easier to go ahead and scale this type of campaign because all I'm really doing is increasing the budget to the entire campaign instead of increasing the budget per different ad set. However, with that being said, when I'm starting from scratch and I don't have a lot of data and I'm not still at the scaling phase, I'm not using this feature over here, and I'm always making sure that this is turned off. At the beginning, Facebook still don't have enough data about which ad is performing the best, which audience is performing the best. So this is why I want to have a little bit more control at the beginning to make sure Facebook really spreads out the budget and spends it in a much better way, or at least for what I think and know that will work best for my type of business. Keep in mind that this feature is powerful. You will not be using that at the beginning, but you definitely want to use that whenever you get to the scaling phase. All right, now let's go over to the ad set over here. So I'm still not going to name the ad set because usually the name of the ad set will be the name of my interest, but the interest is a little bit lower, so we still didn't got to this point. So I'll just leave it as it is for now. And as you can see over here, we have different type of options where you want to get your leads from. So you can generate leads from your website, you can generate leads from instant forms. So instant form, it might be just the same as you will have a website with an opt-in page or a form where you actually collect the data from visitors. So Facebook allows you doing that within the platform without sending people to a landing page or to your website. I actually recommend using instant forms most of the time for leads because, as you understand, it's in the best interest of Facebook to keep people as much as possible in the platform. The next way we have to generate leads is going to be through Messenger. So it's a little bit similar to instant forms. It's just the questions that you're going to ask are going to be through the Messenger. The next one we have is going to be Instagram. So it's going just to be again like through Instagram DMs. I would say that generating leads through Instagram is probably going to be more beneficial to businesses that are more popular on Instagram, let's say like makeup, beauty, stuff like that. So maybe this will actually work really good for them, but as a marketer or for your own business, you have to make sure that you do test those different options that Facebook gives you, because every business or every country really works differently. I run ads in different countries and I run ads within different niches, and sometimes they are even the same niches but different countries, and I always see a really big difference in the results between the different type of campaigns. So even if I'm going to do the exact same thing for a client from Jordan, for example, and I will do the exact same thing for a client from the UK, then the results might be completely different. So this is why you need to have the entire arsenal to try testing everything possible and finding what works the best for this type of business. Next we have is going to be the calls. It's just getting direct calls to your business. Most of the time I didn't find it to be very effective and it's super expensive, so I don't really recommend that. And last one is going to be the app. I would just suggest you, at least at the beginning, just go with the most simple one, which is going to be instant forms. Most of the time it works the best. Again, you want to test out as much as possible, but this is going to be the main one to start with. Then the performance goal that we have over here, Facebook gives you two options: maximize number of leads and maximize number of conversion leads. Just go ahead and stick with the first one because I didn't found this one to actually convert more people. At least that is from my experience. Okay, we have a message over here from Facebook that we need to accept terms and service. So if you created a new page and you're just seeing this message as me, just go ahead and review the terms and accept them. All right, cool. I know there is like many features that you see and many options like this, dynamic creative, stuff like that, but believe me that I've tested all of these things and I just want to really focus on the stuff that actually matters on Facebook, because you really can get lost over here. So sorry if I'm just skipping things that you might have questions about them. So here we have the budget and the schedule. So what will be the daily budget that I will recommend to test an audience, right? Because the Adset is about testing an audience. Usually, okay, this is just an average number, but I would say $10 to $15. It really varies between different categories, different businesses, because if you sell, for example, something for $2,000, then your daily spending should be much bigger than if you would sell, let's say, something for $200 or $50. So it really depends on your selling price of your service or product, but just like a general rule of thumb will be between $10 to $15 per ad set. So it's going to be per audience. Then the schedule, we always want to select and schedule it for the next day, and the main reason for it is just because if you will start the ads in the middle of the day, so Facebook is going to do whatever it can to just spend your entire budget or daily budget until 12 a.m. So whenever you start your ads from 12 a.m. at the next day, then Facebook has the entire 24 hours to spread out your budget and just try to maximize the amount of results that you get within this time frame. So make sure to always select at 12 a.m. next day. All right, the audiences tab. This is also super important section on the ad set level. I would say the most important section. So the first one we have is going to be custom audience. At the beginning, you're not going to be using a custom audience because you probably still don't have any data. A custom audience you can build based on existing data. Let me just show you a quick example. As you can see over here, you have multiple different options. So you have website, catalog, video, Facebook page, Instagram account. So you can create, for example, let's take Facebook page, hit next, and now you can select your Facebook page that you run ads to, and you can create a custom event or a custom audience. Everyone has engaged with your page in the last 365 days. So that means everyone that visited your Facebook page, commented on any ad, for example, watched the video. So any type of engagement to your Facebook page, you can create a custom audience based on that. This section of custom audiences is very powerful. I use that a lot, not just to kind of create the custom audiences for, let's say, retargeting, but creating lookalike audiences. So that's very powerful. So for example, we're running right now a leads campaign, right? Let's say if I get 200 leads or 200 people submitted the lead form, then I create a custom audience of those 200 people, and I can create a lookalike audience based on this custom audience. So Facebook will take those 200 people and will connect the dots between them, or take all the data that it has around these 200 people, and will create as identical as it possibly can new fresh audiences for you to test. So this is very helpful, very powerful. I use that a lot and it generates amazing results for clients. So highly recommend to implement those. I'll probably create a separate video about this topic alone, about how to create really profitable audiences. So let's go ahead and start from scratch, and it's going to be using mainly Facebook ads interests, and this is where everybody really starts until they actually build some data. So over here in the location, this is where you're going to select your country. So make sure to select over here people that live in the location. This is the most common option that you would select, because usually you want people that live in this location and not just, let's say, visit this location or tourists. And you don't want Facebook just to spend your money for people that are not even the people you're trying to reach. Now in the country over here, you can select city, you can select country. It really depends on what you're trying to target. So let's go ahead and type in United States, right? So this is an option for a country. Now if you want to be more specific, so what can we do is let's try to target a specific city. So let's do Miami, Florida, United States. So it gives you the option to target Miami plus 25 miles radius. So you can play around with the radius. Really depends on the coverage of your business. It might be only, let's say, 10 miles, for example, radius. It might be 15. So it really depends, and try to make that as broad as possible. The broader you can make it, the better cost per result you're going to have. Facebook is very effective when it has a broader audience to select from when running your ads. Another way that you can target on Facebook will be zip codes. So let's try entering a zip code. So as you can see, it's going to be a zip code inside Miami. You see, so this is going to be just a specific area of this zip code over here. So this is more for, let's say, local businesses, or that you only serve specific areas in your town or city. So this is another powerful method to really make sure that you're spending your money only to the right people on Facebook. So just for the example of the video, we'll just choose Miami. Now over here, age, gender, detail targeting. So age and gender, I see many people do this mistake and they try to kind of guess the right age, the right gender and stuff like that. Whenever I saw my first success with Facebook ads for one of my e-commerce shop, I did a huge mistake thinking that I know better than Facebook, and I was limiting it by the age and gender. And when I realized that I'm doing a mistake, I actually saw so much scale and profitability in my business that I wish I knew it previously. So I was selling leggings in my e-commerce shop, and it kind of makes sense that I will advertise to women only between the ages of 20 to 45, for example. So that makes sense, you said to yourself. But as soon as I stopped doing that and I just kept the ages broad and all genders, I realized that almost 50% of my buyers on the store were actually men. So many times it might be, let's say, a woman's product, but the one that is actually paying will be the men. But anyways, I'm saying that it's really useless to go ahead and exclude specific age or gender, because we're already going to use the detailed targeting over here, and we're going to target them based on different interests. And this is already good enough for us to make sure we target the right people. So let's go ahead and click edit over here. And this is probably the most important and the most interesting section in the ad set. Many times you probably heard the term cold interest. So this is basically when we want to start running our ads, we need to tell Facebook to who we want to show our ad. And this is exactly where we are doing that. So how do we select the right interest to go ahead and target for Facebook ads? So let me just kind of break it down to 3 different things that will be very easy for you to understand. And this is how I pick my own interests for my clients. So let's say we're going to try and sell dog toy, right? So the first option, I always say, try to target exactly what you want to sell or your type of service, right? So we have, let's say, dog toy, right? So you can go ahead and try just typing over here dog toy, and boom, as you can see over here, you have pet supplies. Now let's take another example. So let's say you have a service of a carpet cleaning. So let's type in carpet cleaning, and there you go, you have it over here. So this is kind of an interest which is directly or actually what you try to promote on Facebook, right? So this is the first option. Now the second option that I use will be certain brands or companies in my space that are already doing very successfully what I'm trying to do. So if that will be dog product, dog toy, for example, then it might be PetSmart. We have PetSmart, we have Petco, there you go. Now, for example, the carpet cleaning, so we might just try to search for a very large company in the space, let's say in the United States or in the world, that are doing carpet cleaning. Or for example, if we sell leggings, so we can go to like Gymshark, so it's going to be Gymshark. We can try Lululemon, there you go, Lululemon. So you need to do a little bit of research. Just go and Google the top brands in your space or the top companies that are kind of offering something similar to what you try to promote on Facebook. You probably will be able to find something. And the last option of kind of the how I target my interest will be the actual interest of my potential or end client, right? So if it will be, let's say again, a dog product, so something that they might be interested in will be dog food, right? So that might be available. So there you go, dog food. So I can go ahead and target dog food. I can go even deeper and go for specific brands. So a brand will be Purina, right? So we have over here Purina 1 pet supplies. We have Royal Canin, there you go, Royal Canin. So all of this is available here on Facebook. So just to show you that you can be very creative in what you target on Facebook, and this is really also what's going to differentiate you between different marketers. So let's do another example for leggings. So people that wear leggings might be interested in weight training, right? So this was a good interest that generated me a good amount of sales with really good cost per result. So I just started thinking about what people wear leggings for. So it can be weight training, it can be running, it can be CrossFit, it can be physical exercise, it can be yoga, and for example, let's say carpet cleaning. So we have stuff like cleaning, right? Just basic interest, people that are interested in cleaning or like cleaning or need cleaning, for example. So that can be something. It might be vacuuming if that's something that is available. There you go, vacuum cleaner, you have that over here. So again, you need to be a little bit creative, but I think I really gave you some really really good ideas that you will be able to find at least one or at least few good interests. Now, the last trick that really will help you to generate way more interests that are very similar to what you try to target will be this section over here, the suggestions tab. So to really be able to generate really good interests, you only need like one or two to start, and then what you can do is just click on the suggestions and boom, you have so many different new interests that you can target, like Hill's Pet Nutrition, Nestle Purina, physical fitness, housekeeping, and so on and so on and so on. So you can see there are so many relevant things to the things that we already insert over here that Facebook suggests us to also try to target. All right, so now the actual structure, or how many interests should I have per ad set. So usually I test one interest per ad set. So I might just go ahead and just delete all of that. And remember that at the beginning we didn't name the ad set, and the reason for it is because usually what I do is I copy my interest over here, so I'll have only one just like this, and then I will paste it over here. Okay, and the main reason why I'm doing that is just because I really want to know which audience is working the best for me, because if I will stack all of them together, then I'm not going to know which one is working the best. So it's really a good idea to not to stack them but separate them between different ad sets. And what you can do if your audience is just a little bit too small, just picking this one single interest, what you can do is you can actually turn this one on, advantage detail targeting. So that basically means that if you're going to check this box on, it's going to include the entire audience in that specific area that you selected, which in our case is Miami plus 25 miles, and it's going to show first only to people that are interested in Petco. But Facebook will most likely to expand your targeting if it's most likely to generate better results. It doesn't mean that it's not going to target your interest, but it's just going to allow you to maximize your reach or your potential with this ad set when you turn this one on. In some cases or different type of campaigns, it will be automatically turned on by Facebook and you will not have the option to deselect that. Just go ahead and select one different interest per ad set and make sure to turn on advantage detail targeting if you have this option. Moving forward, this over here, the languages. So this is only when I would like to show ads just for specific language. So for example, in my country, in Israel, you have many citizens that speak Hebrew, you have citizens that speak Arabic, and you have citizens that speak Russian. So if let's say I have a service that's specifically just for the Arab community here in Israel or the Arab citizens here in Israel, and my ad will actually be in Arabic, then what I would want to do is maybe just showing my ads to people that talk and read Arabic. And the last thing that we have over here is going to be the placements. So placements, I do know people try sometimes to select it manually and just place the ads on the newsfeed of Facebook and Instagram, but I found it to work much better when you just keep it as automatic and you just let Facebook to put your ads in front of people, and the placements it thinks it will work the best or generate you the most amount of conversion, leads, whatever. I know there will people that might debate me on that, but the thing is that you need to understand is if you would like to just manually select the most, let's say, profitable placements on Facebook, then guess what Facebook will do? They will just increase the price of your Facebook ads, so your CPM will just be higher and you're going to pay higher price because you want the best or most profitable real estate of Facebook. It's simply as that. So go with my recommendation and just keep it as automatic placements. All right, the last part in the campaign creation, and it's probably the most important part of the entire campaign building, is going to be our ad. And this is what people actually going to see. This is like the end result and what people are going to see in their mobile feed. And many times I do see, let's say, from clients that they really have bad creatives in terms of they trying to create creatives on their own instead of hiring a professional, or they just don't know what are the best practices and what works best on Facebook. And I'm going to share with you that in just a sec. So let's start from the beginning, which is going to be the actual ad name. So I personally just type in, let's say, image, right? And then I can describe shortly the image. So for this example, because we started something in the pet niche, I already thought about an idea for generating, let's say, leads in this niche, because if it's a dog product, then it's not really make sense to creating a lead campaign. So I will be creating this campaign for generating leads for dog walking. I still don't have any image ad. I will go ahead and show you how I'm creating one from scratch. So after I have it, I will just go ahead and type in some short description. So for now, we'll just leave it as, let's say, image 1. Then over here, you obviously need to select your Facebook page. And if you have an Instagram account, make sure to link it together. And if you have it, just make sure to choose it over here. In this case, we don't have an Instagram account, so I will not be able to link it. Usually, most of the time, what happens is that you will be able just to still show up ads on Instagram without having an Instagram account. And Facebook will just use the kind of profile picture of your actual page. Over here, it says that it will not be able to run ads on Instagram because we don't have any profile photo. And that's true, we don't have any profile photo on our page. So just make sure to obviously just optimize a little bit your page and add a profile photo, description, cover image, and all of that. Let's just go and keep scrolling. Now over here, this is how you can choose the format over your ad, which whether it's going to be a single image or video, which this one, I do suggest to use this one most of the times because it just works better. You have also an option for carousel. If you run, let's say, e-commerce store, so you're probably going to have an option for a catalog. That's all I think. As I mentioned before, I always suggest to go for single image or video. At least from my experience, that just outperforms the others all the time. So I always go for this option. A multi-advertiser ads. So this is just an option that Facebook basically, if you will read over here, it will help you discover your products when they show commercial intent. I most of the time turn this one on because I didn't see any real effect turning this one on, so I'll just keep it as it is. And over here, this is where basically the magic happens and where you need to upload your creative, whether it's an image or a video. I do suggest testing both. It doesn't really matter what type of business do you run. Even if you think that it will work the best with a video, still go ahead and test images. And if you think it will work best with images, still go ahead and test videos. That's from my own personal experience. I always test every single option that I have because I'm always surprised what is actually working for specific type of business and specific type of industry and specific country. So make sure to test both of them. Now, how we actually come up with a good image ad for the agency owners in the crowd, usually me personally with my agency and from what I generally see with other agencies, that this is in the responsibility of the client to provide you some graphic design, some videos about the business. So if it's already an established business, it needs to have some graphics and some videos of it physically in real content that you can use. However, that's not always the case, or I work a lot with, let's say, just new businesses or businesses that still trying to grow. So most of the time they don't have a professional made content, and most of the time they don't even understand the value it will bring to their ads, or overall having a professional made content is always a good investment, because nowadays most businesses, they have to have some kind of social presence or online presence, and this is going to be the first impression other customers or potential customers that see your business or your ad. And if you are not going to make a good impression, or the impression that this business is not really professional, then guess what will happen? People will not convert, people will not click on your ad, and they will not become your leads and potential clients. Now, another problem that I see coming up a lot is that even if they have, let's say they actually took some great photos or some like raw clips of their actual product or service or business, they don't have the editing skills or graphic design skills to go ahead and make a good looking, beautiful ad that you will be able to use for the marketing. So in terms of getting a good image ad, if my client is not providing me the graphics, most of the time I will be able to just to come up with something on my own, which I'm going to show you in this video how I'm doing that. And the second option, which I would say it's more for e-commerce stores, is that you don't want to run only image ads. And most of the time, like let's say 95% of the time, video ads convert much better for e-commerce stores. So starting testing on Facebook, having a video ad, it's pretty much mandatory. However, having a very good video editing skills, it's something that requires many years of experience, and probably you don't have it, and most other business owners don't have it as well. However, keep in mind that I myself, I have like very basic skills in video editing. I'm still using iMovie to edit the videos for my YouTube channel. So editing a video for a client is not really an option for me. So So what I'm doing in this case is very simple. I have a service that I'm using for years. This company called Waving Pandas. In the past, their name was Ecom Videos. So because I was really focusing on promoting e-commerce stores which were my own, and when I started my agency, I worked mainly with e-commerce stores. I knew that video ads are must, but I know that I don't have the skills to create a very high converting professional video ad. And I will give you a quick tip. I don't recommend you try create your ads on your own, and the main reason for it is because from everything that you have learned in this video, I want you to understand that this part, which is the actual creative in your ad copy, is by far the most important and the thing that will make the most amount of effect over your results with your Facebook ads is going to be the ad level. So what I always say to clients, and I keep that in the back of my head, is the cheaper you will go creating your creative, whether it's an image or a video, the lower you're going to pay to Facebook. It's very simple to understand. If you just going to try to create something on your own and just pay someone like very cheap price on Fiverr, for example, to create your creative, then your result on Facebook would just be much more expensive because it's just not working as good as if you would outsource it to someone that is professional. So this is the service, as I mentioned, Waving Pandas. You can go ahead and check out some of the people that kind of mentioned them, e-commerce experts. I also talked about them on my channel a couple of times, different examples as well, just to see the level. Let's go ahead and play some of the videos.
Highly recommended. It's an absolutely stunning drone for its size and price.
Alright, so as you can see, I mean, I do have some video editing skills. I'm uploading videos on YouTube for like a few years now, like I don't remember how many, but 3, 4, 5 years. So, and I still cannot even come close to something as good as that. Again, if you are absolutely not sure you can create something at least in this level, then don't try to create your own video ads and make sure to outsource it to a professional. So as I mentioned before, for e-commerce stores, I do recommend using this service. Even if you have a local business or you're selling a service, I will still recommend at least testing and give it a try. I've even created a video for a service for one of my clients using their services, and all I had to do is just get the raw clips from my customer, or I told him, look, I need you to create raw clips of your service that you provide, and then all he has to do is just to place an order, upload all of these raw clips, and Waving Pandas will take care of the rest. Now, for those that still haven't used the service or don't know this service and want to give it a try, I will leave a link in the description and a coupon code that if you will use this link and use my coupon code, you will get, I believe, $10 off or 10% off your first video. So again, highly recommend the service, especially if you work with e-commerce shops or you own e-commerce shop and you want to get some really good videos for your product. All right, so the way that we actually create, or the way that I create image ads for my clients, it's mainly using canva.com. Now I do have the pro version of Canva just because I think it's such a lifesaver, and it has basically, for example, if you want to get very high quality images from different websites, the high quality images, or at least the website that really have high quality content that is not free, will charge you a lot of money for this content. However, with Canva Pro, you already get those images included inside the subscription, and it only costs you like $10 per month. And there are many more things that you can do with Canva Pro. It saves me a lot of time, a lot of money, and I'm barely even scratching the surface with what you can do here on Canva. But again, just paying $10 per month on Canva Pro, in my opinion, it's definitely worth it. You can still use Canva with the free version. It's just that you're going to be limited with the content that you can select. But again, this is totally up to you. So what do we need to do over here to create our first image ad? First, you need to select what is going to be the scale of your image or video. My recommendation, and this is I've tested so many different times in different industries with different type of creatives, what works the best in terms of getting the best and most consistent results is 1-to-1 ratio. So this is a square shape video or image ad. I know some of you would say, hey, but what about story ads and stuff like that? I totally agree with you, and this is why I've tested so many times to try optimize specific ads to specific placements, try cropping my ad, my image or video ad, but always what end up happening is that when I use 1-to-1 ratio, a square shape video ad or image ad, it just outperforms any other ad that I'm testing. So that's what I recommend. Again, go ahead and test whatever works best for you. So to start creating our ad, we'll click over here. Instagram post is just a square shape, so I'm just going to use the blank option. So I'll click create blank. So as you can see over here, we have a lot of different options here on Canva for those that are new to Canva. As you can see over here also that Canva basically gives you a lot of different options already, kind of like an ideas for creatives. So as we talked before that we're going to go for a dog walking ad or service that we're going to create leads ads for it, we want to go ahead and kind of try to come up with a good creative for our ad. And let me tell you a quick secret, right? You see all the different templates over here that we have, and most of them are pretty like well made and really well designed, and you can go ahead and just use one of the templates and have a beautiful looking ad. However, you need to keep in mind that you try to promote on social media. So guess what's going to happen when someone just see an actual ad that, I mean, this looks like an ad, this looks like an ad, this looks like an ad, this looks like an ad. So what happens is that people, whenever they see an ad, they just, you know, keep scrolling. They don't want to see basically ads on their Facebook or Instagram. So the way that you basically want to approach it is that you need to show them something as native as you can possibly get. And what do I mean by that is, let's say as our example, dog walking. So what I will do is I will go to elements over here and I will type in dog walking. There you go. And over here I will select photos, and as you can see over here, and again, this is why I do recommend using Canva Pro, because you can see that all these images with the crown, they are basically Canva Pro subscription only images, but you can see that they are very, very high quality and good images that you can use that really look native. So what I'm trying to say is that my goal with my ads is just to show an image to the end potential customer that will look exactly like someone else would post a picture, because the more authentic it is going to look, you will see that it will improve your results and the click-through rate for your ads. And actually, if someone reading your ad copy, and in the ad copy, this is where you're going to pitch your service or your offer, but unless you're going to establish first the most important part, which is going to be the creative, people are not even going to get to read your ad copy and see what you actually have to offer. So again, make sure, or at least this is my strategy, I always use like this type of photo without any text, without any editing to it, so it will look really just like an image on my feed. So for example, I really like this one. So what I would do is just I will scale it up so it will fill the entire square, and that's okay if it's not going to fit exactly because the actual image is landscape, but even something like that, boom, this looks great. This look like actual image that maybe someone else took. It doesn't look like an ad. It's, and someone that might be interested in dog walking, it's going to grab his attention, I guarantee you that. And for me, I not only found it to be the easiest way to actually get some good image ads for my client, but I also found to work much better, and it actually makes sense because it looks very congruent with social media. So that's it. This is going to be my creative, so I'll go ahead and just download it. Again, it's really up to you whether you're going to use Canva Pro or not, but you can see how simple it is. And for me, simplicity is the most important part of running ads, because I run an agency and I want to scale my agency, but I'm still the one that is providing the service for Facebook ads. So for me, productivity and simplicity is the most important part in my agency. In case you would like to try Canva Pro, I will leave a link to it down below. And with that being said, let's go back to the ads manager. All right, so what we'll do is we'll delete this one over here and we'll upload our new image. All right, and now let's hit next. And as you can see over here, basically Facebook will recommend you to stretch out the image that you have. As I mentioned before, just keep it a square shape. That is my recommendation, and let's click done. All right, so this is how our ad is going to look on Facebook. Just this is the beginning, is just the visual image, so it looks great. Now we need to actually have a good ad copy. So how can you create a good ad copy, and what type of ad copies work the best? So every marketer or every advertiser has a different type of ad copy, or different industries speak differently to their customers. So I will first give you kind of like a structure that I like using that works for me for many years now, and I'm going to break it down by sections, and then I will make an example for you. So the first section is going to be like a hook / headline. So this is going to be kind of the first sentence that goes into the ad, that the goal is to grab the attention of the one that is reading that. Then the next one that we are going to have is going to be the intro. So most of the time people still haven't seen your business, and they don't know who you are and what your business is about. So you need to give them like 2 to 3 lines of actual like introduction of your company or your product. So it's going to be intro. Then we're going to have straight benefits. So people mainly care about what is the main benefits of using your service and not other services. It also might be different feature that your service includes. I would recommend having at least 3 to 5 benefits, and make each benefit about, I would say, 4 to 6 words max. It doesn't have to be like Amazon bullet points, so it just need to be like sweet, short, and straight to the point. The next we're going to have is the actual offer. So I do see many businesses do the mistake without running any offer. So for example, let's take dog walking. So we need to have an offer, not just promoting dog walking and that's it, because there are many other people that tried, let's say, promoting the same exact service. So it's not that you are inventing something new that nobody actually heard about. So in your offer this is where you're going to convince to someone to at least try out your service or product. So for dog walking, I can do something like the first walk is for free, right? A simple offer, and they get to experience or test out your service or product without really risking too much. And if they would like it, they will stay with you. And guess what? If you actually provide a good service or a good product, people will keep buying from you. Another example, let's say if I would run ads to my agency, then I can go ahead and promote something like 1 full week for free of full Facebook and Instagram ads management, or I can do something like we guarantee results or your money back. So hopefully you got the point. So you do have to have an offer. And the last part will be the call to action. Really straightforward. After they've been convinced and they want to kind of move forward, then how they kind of proceed in this process. What do they need to do? Now, what if let's say you run an agency or you just don't know the right words, how to actually write all of this so it will look professional? Then what do you do in this situation? So I have a solution for you. As you can hear, I'm not a native English speaker, so although I write pretty professionally in English, I still sometimes struggle to come up with a good ad copy. So let me go ahead and share with you the tool that I'm using that really helps me not only creating a better, more professional looking ad copy, or let's say I'm trying to create an ad in an industry that I've never promoted before and I just don't have even a clue what do I need to say or what do I need to write. A lot of times I do ask for the client itself to explain me a little bit more about the business. I'm sending him actually the ad copy to review and confirm it, because he actually knows better than I do what will resonate the best with his or hers audience. So you can get some ideas from your client. Maybe even if they have a website or a landing page, many times you can get professional copyrighted text. So I suggest you also to use that. But let's say you don't have any of those options, then what you want to use is something like this tool. This is a tool that I'm using to generate professional looking ad copies, as you've seen in my actual ads. So let's say if it's an image ad, it's pretty simple, straightforward, and I don't use any special text inside the ad, and all of my efforts are going inside the ad copy. And this tool over here, which the name of it is Copy Genius, it's essentially an AI tool that helps you generate good ad copies, Facebook ads, headlines, product descriptions, bullet points, even reviews. So this AI tool can do a lot of things, and this is, in my opinion, a must-have for marketers. There's another tool called Copy AI, and I'm pretty sure there are different tools out there, but this is my personal preference and what I use. I will leave a link to it down in the description, so if you want you can go ahead and check it out. So how do you create a professional looking ad copy using Copy Genius? Let's go ahead and create an example. So we'll go to the dashboard. So in the dashboard, basically it will ask you what exactly do you want to write, whether it's a product description, Facebook ad copy, blog outline. So obviously we're going to go for a Facebook ad copy, and it will take you over here to the templates page. It's very useful, for example, if you're going to write something for e-commerce. So you can actually just paste the link of the product page, whether it's Shopify, AliExpress or Amazon, and Copy Genius will actually scrape the entire page and it will come up with already the product name, the key features and stuff like that. So it's really great for e-commerce as well. But in this case, our product or service is going to be dog walking. So type in dog walking, and here basically you just want to describe your service in the most clear way. So here we're just going to type in, this is a dog walking service by people that absolutely love dogs and they are dog owners themselves. Boom. So you can do something as short as this, and if you want you can even detail more about your service. If you offer special features or specific things in your service or product, maybe we can add something like, we walk your dog 3 times per day, just an example. And over here, basically before you click on write for me, then you have the option for outputs. I usually go for 3 outputs because I want to get at least 3 different variations for the ad copy. Now keep in mind that you don't want to go for the highest option, because I'm using a paid subscription and I get like I think 40,000 outputs per month. So the more outputs you're going to use for every single thing or ad copy you want to create, then the higher the subscription you will have to have. However, the one that I have, I think is the first one, the standard one. It's really more than enough. Just try not going too crazy with the outputs over here. So just go for 3. I think it will be more than enough. So let's go ahead and click write for me. All right, so let me go ahead and just read some of the examples we have over here and select one. All right, so I've just picked the second option and I picked a section of this option. And something that you need to realize is that you don't want just to like copy paste stuff from Copy Genius to your ad copy, because it's not going to look as authentic and as personal as a human will actually write the ad copy. So the goal is just to take the best parts that Copy Genius can generate and then use that inside the structure of our ad copy. So what I've picked is, our experienced and passionate dog walkers will take your furry friend out for a walk 3 times a day, giving them the exercise and attention they need. So that I think is pretty good for in terms of like introduction. So I just copied and pasted over here, and I actually forgot that we need first to have like a hook / a headline. So keep the same information that we have already insert over here, and we are going to select, instead of ad copy, we'll select Facebook ad headline and click write for me. All right, so these 3 options, I don't really like them, so I'll just try again. So for example, we have this result over here. So get your dog walked by people that love dogs. So I think it's a great kind of hook and a headline to start our ad copy. So I'll go ahead and paste it here. What we can do is maybe just adding like some kind of like an emoji, so maybe something like that. And over here on the right side, you will be able to actually see a preview of your ad, how it's going to look. So I personally don't like that there is like this kind of blank space over here. So what I can do is just kind of reduce the space, all right, and have something like that. It's very important, at least the part that is visual on the ad, as you can see over here, because if it's going to be really good, then people will click on see more, and then they will actually read the rest of your ad copy, your offer, and the call to action. So that's really important that this first part that is showing up will be pretty good. Maybe we'll change this over here to punch mark like that. All right, so I think it looks pretty good in terms of the beginning. Get your dog walked by people that love dogs. Our experienced and passionate dog walkers will take your furry friend, and boom, we have this really good image. So someone that will be interested in this service will probably first this image will really catch the attention of that person, and by the beginning of our ad copy, we'll probably click on see more and actually see what we have to offer, and this is where we're going to actually hit him with our offer, which needs to be very good. Now in terms of the benefits, this is basically whenever you sell a service or a product, you need to know why this product is so good or why it's different from from other services or products. So let's say we're going to put in 3 walks per day. You know, obviously it's not going to be kind of the most super professional one, because I just want to give you kind of an idea, an example. Another thing that you can do is you can go back to copy AI and you can do the same exact thing. Just go ahead and use the product benefits over here and click write for me, and you can get more ideas this way. So for example, this is really good in my opinion. This is something that I probably wouldn't think myself. So let's say, you know, the owner doesn't have too much time for his dog and he actually enjoys being around other dogs. So that can be a very good reason, you know, why they would want to have this type of service. So this is more points for people that maybe don't use dog walking, and we want to convince them to start hiring dog walkers for their dog during the day while they are at work. But for example, if you sell a service that is already very competitive, let's take for example, so an ad agency, right? So I'm offering running ads for different companies. So because it's not really something that is that new, then my benefits or main features should be like really explaining, and let's say I'm an expert and master in Facebook and Instagram ads. I have a ton of experience or a lot of years of experience, many successful case studies from other clients if I specialize in specific niche. So let's say if there is an ad by an agency that is just a general agency, but let's say I'm expert in real estate, Facebook and Instagram ads. So guess where the real estate agent would like to go? With an agency that are experts in real estate. So let's go ahead and just copy this over here. I do think that this is a good benefit, and we can do like a mix between, you know, why our personal service is very competitive compared to others, and also combining some main benefits of the actual service. And we can type in another last thing is that, let's say 24/7 phone support, you know, something like that. Again, I mean, if you will think about it a little bit further, and I will really invest the time to try to create the best thing possible, it will probably look a little bit more professional, but I just want to give you the idea, because again, I am not a dog walker. I don't know exactly what people are looking for, but as a business owner, that whether you run ads for your business or you run ads for clients' business, then they probably know what is their competitive advantage, whether it's pricing, whether it's special offer, whether it's special features, whether it's additional services. So also what I do like to do in the benefits is just using like check marks. There you go. Now the offer, let's say we can go something for get your one walk for free, or something like let us walk your dog for free, or let's add once so people know that this is once. But again, you just work with it and just find something that you know that will really get people to at least try out your service or product. So that might be a special discount, that might be a free trial, or whether you guarantee the results or the money back. So people might really like your service and might need your service, but if they don't reduce their own risk in starting having business with you, then they might kind of be afraid of taking action. So the lower you're going to lower their risk, the higher conversion you will have in getting new people. All right, and the last part will be just to claim your first dog walk for free. Click learn. That's it. So it's very simple. Again, you can do it more professional, you can invest more time in it, but I just don't want it to be like a video that will be hours long, and I can make a separate video just about ad copy. If you want to see something like that, just make sure to comment that in the comment section below. But this is pretty good to start. Right now, this is only one variation for an ad copy. There can be another variation, and I will just give you an example over here. Sometimes shorter ad copies work better than longer ones. It really varies between industries, between countries, but my goal over here in this video is to give you the entire arsenal, so you will be able to go ahead and test and see what actually works best for that type of business that you try to promote. And this is how you can always get better and better results. So I can do something as like you know, let's first type in ad copy 2. So I can go for something as very straightforward as possible. So if the service or the product doesn't need too much explanation, then I can go even for something as simple as let us walk your dog once for free. Click learn more to claim our special offer. Boom. So the ad copy can be even something as short as this. So that's what I'm trying to say, that it doesn't mean that a longer one is going to be better. So you need to try different type of variations. You might have a little bit more information in your ad copy, and you might have an ad copy that that is very straightforward and straight to the point, and it will work or outperform any other ad copy that you will try. And that happened to me many times, that even an ad copy of just one sentence outperformed any other long form ad copy. So again, just make sure to test different options, both options over here. So just keep this one for now. Now in terms of the headline, it's funny because we use like a headline on the top, but over here in my headline, the headline itself is very noticeable. So what I'm trying to do is just either just mention the offer itself, or mention what this service or product is about, or just what it is. So I can do something like dog walking service in Miami, for example, right? So it's going to be as like straightforward as possible. I know that there will be some advertisers that will disagree with me, but this is how I found it to really work best. My goal is whenever someone see my ad, that he will be very fast in understanding what this ad is about. So being straightforward nowadays, because we have such a short attention time span, we want to be as straightforward as possible. And here in the description, because I still have some space, so I might just type in get your first dog walk free, for example, something like that. Well, the entire text is doesn't fit over here, so maybe we'll make that shorter. So let's just drop the dog and do it like this: get your first walk for free. Boom. Look at that. I mean, in my opinion, maybe I don't know, maybe in someone else's eyes it will look different, but in my opinion it looks very good, straight to the point. The image itself looks so high quality, and this is what I'm saying, that in my opinion it does worth to like have a subscription to Canva Pro or different service that can provide you very high quality images or even videos. And the reason for it, because even if you can create your own content, you need to understand that creating and editing something like that, you need to be a professional. So whenever you buy those premium images or videos, you get something that is being made by professional content creators. So even creating content, this is a skill that you need to have. So this is why I do think it looks so good, and we have basically everything straight to the point. So the last thing that we need to do is just to change over here the call to action button. So you can, again, it really depends, but you can either choose book now, so we can, let's say, book now for the free first walk, or even get offer, right? So that can be even another option. So I do think that get offer will be actually pretty good. So if you have very good offer, then you can go for get offer. You can also go for learn more or get a quote, right? So let's say if you are doing carpet cleaning, so carpet cleaning really varies between sizes of carpets, the fabric and stuff like that. So maybe just giving them a quote. So I will actually go ahead and change my text a little bit to, instead of learn more, I will switch it to get offer. All right, there you go. And now the last part that we need to do is to create the actual form that we're going to grab the information from customers. So let's click create form, and we'll type in, let's say, form 1. Now over here in this section of form type, you have more volume, higher intent, and custom. For the beginning, I would suggest you just to go for a higher volume, because this is by far like the cheapest or the best way to generate as many leads as possible for the lowest cost. However, sometimes what happens is that you might get a lower quality leads. It's sometimes, not always. Most of the time this works perfectly fine, but if you experience just leads that are completely off from what you offer, or it just looks like they put their number by mistake or something like that, then I would just go for higher intent. And this way Facebook just basically add an extra step. If you can see over here, if we'll click on that, we have privacy policy and then message for leads. And if you will click on this, then we have review screen. So essentially what this review screen is just another page or screen that shows them the information that they submitted and that they need to confirm it. So it's just a little bit of extra step, but again, going for the first option should be good enough to start. So let's keep it as it is. In terms of the intro, it will ask you if you want to upload a specific ad or would you like to use the image from your ad. So obviously go for option number 1, because whenever someone opens your form, so they want at least feel that they are still at the same place or at the same brand. So if you're going to show them a completely different image, then it might confuse them a little bit. So just keep it as it is. Over here you have an option to have a headline and some text over here. So at the headline, again, I will probably just use either just specifying like or my offer or the actual service. So we can do dog walking in Miami, and I can even add both of them. So I can just do something like that, get your first walk for free. All right, so I can do even something like that, so including both of them. And then over here you just kind of let them know what's going to happen, and that is very simple to follow. So you always want to make sure that you basically just tell them what to do. It's just easier for people to kind of do stuff when you just structure them in exactly what to do, and also mentioning that it's going to be very simple in just couple steps. So if you're not going to mention it, they might think, oh, now I need to submit so many different things and information, and it might take me too long. So for you, letting them know that, hey, it will take just like 30 seconds, that is actually going to push more people to take this action. So we can do something like get your first walk for free in just a few simple steps. Boom, something like that. So we basically tell them, hey, claim our offer within just few simple steps. So this is, in my opinion, by far the best way to kind of encourage them to actually submit the form, and that works great for me. So you can go ahead and do something similar to it. Then the question part, then this is kind of the information that you would like to get from them. I personally suggest you to always ask for the phone number, and the reason for it is because the email and the full name, these kind of fields are auto generated by Facebook, and there is very high chance that the email that is associated to this Facebook account might be an email that they don't have access anymore, because whenever they sign up to Facebook, they might sign up with an email like 10 years old and they don't use it anymore, but the phone number is still updated, and this is the most up-to-date information that you have about them. So I will highly recommend to add phone number, and it's much better in my opinion to just pick up the phone and call instead of just emailing. But I suggest doing both, but the email response rate, or the open rate you can say, is it's lower obviously than phone calls, because with a phone number you can not only phone call them but you can also text them, and the open rate in text is much better than emails. So always I suggest you just to having both of them. And over here in the description is basically this part over here. So I will just let them know that they are just about to finish the form in just like few steps, so please fill out the info below. So this is like something really short. You can also do something a little bit longer. You can say fill out the info below to claim your free walk, for example, and that might be a little bit longer, but again, you just always kind of remind them that they need to complete this step to actually get the end result that they want. But this should be good enough. In privacy policy, so if you run a website, so you probably already have a privacy policy, so you can just use the privacy policy of your page. However, in most cases my clients don't have a website, but you cannot run instant forms or leads ads unless you actually have a privacy policy. So I'm going to show you a trick how you can create very simply a privacy policy, and that works for me every single time. All right, so this is going to be our privacy policy generator. I used it a lot of times for my clients, and basically what that does is just creating you a privacy policy page. I mean, instead of just creating now a website just to have a privacy policy page, that's too much of a hustle. So again, I'm just about more simplicity and productivity, to really focus and spend your time on the things that actually going to make the difference. So I'm giving you all these solutions to really make sure you boost your productivity, and you can do so much more in less time. So what you need to enter over here, just going to be the company name. So let's do SP Dog Walking, for example, and over here you want to enter your let's say business email address, spdogwalking@gmail.com, for example. I don't really have an email with it, but just an example, and you click generate. Boom, and just like that, within 5 seconds you have a privacy policy page. So I will just copy the URL link. You can actually go ahead and open it to see exactly how the page looks like. So there you go. I mean, I never had any issues, and I never actually edited. But if you want to go ahead and change something, or it doesn't fit the nature of your business, then try maybe using a different service. But again, that worked for me so many times, and it works fantastic. So let's go back to our form, and we'll put in the link over here just like that. And if you want to add a custom disclaimer, you can do it over here. And lastly, the message for the leads. So now that they submitted everything, they need to know what's going to happen. So we can leave it as it is. Thanks, you are all set up. You can change it if you want. And over here we'll say thanks for submitting your info. We'll get back to you shortly to set you up with your first free walk, for example. So something like that, something very simple and straightforward, that hey, we got your information, we're going to get back to you ASAP or within 24 hours, 48 hours. It really depends. If you have like a very certain time frame, then you can actually let them know, hey, I'm going to call you within an hour or within 24 hours. And this phone call is going to be to get you your offer. So you don't want just to tell you, hey, I'm going to call you. You want to make sure that they understand that they will receive a call that will basically provide them the offer that they wanted to get. Basically, the whole point and the idea over here is really to just talk with the customers like babies. It's just to explain them every single thing. Just because all of us, we're getting so many different phone calls, emails and stuff like that, and people are just less likely to leave their information unless you really make sure that they understand that you're only going to call them for them claiming the offer, and you're not going to start spamming them and waste their time. And lastly, if you have any type of website, then you can go ahead and add the link over here, or if you have a phone number, so that can be also a really good idea. What you can do is just insert your phone number over here, and the call to action will be call, for example. Most of people will not really click on it, but it's up to you whether you want to send them to your website or you want to leave your phone number. It's just mandatory by Facebook to have something at the end of the form. So after that, I will just hit publish, and actually I do suggest you before you click publish, because whenever you click publish, you cannot edit this form ever. So if you will want to change anything in this form, you will have to duplicate it, and then you will be able to make the changes that you want. So I do recommend you really at least going over quickly the form just to see that you don't have any grammar errors or spelling issues. All right, dog walking man, you get your first walk for free. All right, so you just go over the entire form and you see that everything looks good, and that's it. And then you can click publish. There you go. So we're almost done. Over here at this part, you have a couple of things, CRM events. You can actually connect your CRM to Facebook ads. So this is probably going to be in another video. CRM, it's customer relationship management. So it's just a tool or software which can take your leads from Facebook and then put them onto an email, a newsletter, or just some of different automations that I do think are very useful, but it's a little bit more advanced that I will keep that to another video. And it's also optional. You don't have to use those. You can download all your leads straight from Facebook. Website events, this is only going to be applicable for businesses that actually have a website. And last one, the URL parameters. This is just an additional help for you if you again send people outside Facebook to be able to get more accurate data in terms of like what type of actions do they take on your website. But this is going to be more related for e-commerce and businesses that actually own a website. All right, so now that we actually have our ad completely ready to go, we want to have at least another variation or even two variations to test and see actually what works best. So what I will do is just I will click over here, quickly duplicate, and the reason why I'm doing it is because I want to include everything in the second ad. So let's go ahead and change the name of the ad. So we'll have image number 2. I want to keep everything exactly the same, the ad copy, the form, the headline, the description, everything to keep the same. And simply what I would do is I will delete this image and I will upload my other creative that I've created, whether it's a video or image. So you already know how to create image ads, so go ahead and just do the exact same thing and upload another image. I do suggest to have at least 2 different variations, so Facebook will be able to kind of pick the best one that works best for your audience that you try targeting. And with that being said, our last part in the campaign creation is actually duplicating what we have in terms of the ad set level. And the reason why I'm doing this this way and not first creating multiple different ad sets is because I need to create my ads first. So after I do that, what I can do is just go ahead and duplicate this one, let's say 2 more times, and I'll click 2 just like that. And then you can see what happens is that it takes the same exact ads that I already have under the first ad set and just it creates duplicates. And this way it's much easier for you just to make this quick change and and just change the interest instead of recreating the ads, the ad copy and everything from scratch. So what I would do over here is I would just scroll down. We already have set up everything in terms of the date, the hour, the budget. So everything again is just a duplicate of the original ad set. And then what I would do is I will click edit, and I would like to change the interest. So let me go ahead and pick this one over here. So I'll do edit, and then I will hit the suggestions. And then what I can do is I can go ahead and target another pet store if I want, but let's try to find like dog walk, right, which is the actual thing that we try to promote. So there you go, dog walking. And we're going to delete this one because we already have Petco in this ad set over here. And we're going to copy this. Don't forget to click on this one to expand our audience, and we're going to paste the name over here. So we'll know that if we're going to get leads or really good cost per lead in this ad set, we'll know that this is the audience that works better. And the last one over here, let's try to search for a dog product, for example a dog toy or dog collar. There you go, dog collar. So that's really relevant to what we try to target. People that interested in dog collar probably have dogs, so that's perfect. And we're going to delete this, check this box, copy the name of the interest and paste it up here, and boom, there you go. We have now a campaign that is pretty much just ready to launch. We have the actual campaign, which our objective is to generate leads using instant forms. We have 3 different interests, which are different groups of people, and each and every one of them have the 2 different creatives that we have created. So Facebook will be able to choose what is working best for this type of audience. So this is a kind of the main structure that I'm using. I might have more ad sets than just 3. It really depends on the budget and the niche, but this is overall the best or the winning structure that I'm using. So if we'll close that, let's see how it actually looks. So this is going to be the campaign that we have. Then we have the ad sets over here, and lastly we have our ads just over here. So really straightforward, very easy, and the structure is simple yet very effective. All right, now that we actually set up the campaign, you're probably asking yourself, okay, I've set up the campaign, what's next? So basically your job, let's say if you are a marketer, so your job as a marketer, or if you run ads for your business, then you need to optimize your ads. And there are different things and different strategies to optimize the ads, but I will try to kind of break it down to you as basic and as simple as I possibly can. Keep in mind that every situation or every business is a little bit different, but I want to start with you in showing you what am I actually looking at when I want to optimize my ads. So there are a couple of things. The first thing will be, and this is more related to e-commerce, so usually what I'm looking at will be performance and clicks. So this column over here, this is basically, it's a drop down menu, and it allows you to kind of see different stats about your ads. So you can see, let's say if you're testing a video and you want to see the video engagement, then you can click on that. If you want to see detailed about the targeting and creative, you can use that. To be honest, I don't really use these different setups over here. Usually what I use is performance, which is the default, and for e-commerce I use performance and clicks. So for example, let's choose this one over here, and let's go ahead and open the campaign. Okay, let's say this campaign is running right now. So we set up the campaign, we have 3 different ad sets with different group of people that we're testing, and based on the numbers that we are seeing, we want to scroll to this point over here, which we have the main 3 things that you want to look at besides the actual cost per result. So it will be the CPC, the cost per link click. In the e-commerce space, you have, like, you can say an industry standard in terms of CPC, and usually it's around $1. So if you see that your cost per link click is much above $1, then you need to understand that you're just overpaying Facebook for getting clicks to your website. Now this number over here of the CPC is a combination of your CPM, which stands for cost per 1,000 impressions, and the click-through rate, which from the impressions, that basically means the amount of people, let's say 1,000 people saw your ad and how many people actually click on your ad. And this number gives us the final number, which is the CPC and cost per link, from the amount of people that saw your ad to the amount of people that actually clicked on the link to your website. So these are kind of the main things that I'm looking at. Obviously, what I'm saying is not applicable if the cost per result is much better than your target cost per result. So for example, example, if my target cost per result, $25 cost per purchase, so I'm willing to pay max of $25 to get one sale. So even if I pay here, for example, $10 cost per click, and I'm still getting my target result, which is less than $25 cost per purchase, I will ignore this part over here. This is the way that basically I do that, because at the end, the most important thing is the cost per result. If I want to get purchases, so that's the first thing that I care about. But those stats over here, the CPC, CTR, and CPM, can give me an idea of what's actually going on and how much more room for improvement do I have. So if you don't really see the results that you want, then I highly suggest you to go ahead and look at your CPC and seeing how much do you pay per click. So we said that the standard will be around $1 per click. Standard CTR, I would say I would like to see at least 1% and above CTR. Anything below that means that maybe you're not targeting the right people, or your ad doesn't resonate with your target audience. So sometimes you might either target the wrong people, or your ad might communicate in a way that doesn't really resonate with your target audience. The last important metrics that I would look for e-commerce. So, and that's something that you need to add manually. You want to click over here on customize columns, and this is actually a way for you to customize anything you want. So if you just decided that you're only going to look at, let's say, cost per result, cost per link click, CPM, CTR, and the one that I'm going to show you right now, then you can actually go ahead and delete those things that you don't want to see, and then you can save it as a preset. So I usually don't really touch too much of those things, and I just add the one that I need, which is going to be ROAS. So this is for e-commerce. We want to measure the sales that we're bringing in, so we will be able to measure the return on our ad spend. So the one that we're going to select is purchase ROAS, is the second one and not the first one. The first one is donation. So we'll go ahead and select the total ROAS. And there's another thing that I would like to know is the value of the actual sales. So if we spend $200 on our ads, how much did we bring back? And this is actually how the ROAS is being created. So what I will also write over here will be purchase, and I will select total purchases, cost per purchase, and the value. Now you want to keep in mind that you deselect all these different check marks over here, because sometimes they include offline events or stuff like that. You don't need that. Then just check these boxes off, and then what you want to do is to save that as a preset. So I'll type it as preset 1, or you can say ecom preset, and I'll hit apply. And now basically anytime that I would like to actually see those numbers, then I already have the preset over here. So that's really useful. So as you can see, this over here will give me the actual ROAS, and the ROAS will be the number that will be divided from how much money the purchase conversion value is. So let's say $1,000, and we spend only $200 in our ad spend. That means that our ROAS will be 5. So that's basically what I'm looking in terms of e-commerce. I always look for our target ROAS, and this is something that you need to work with your client, or if it's your own business, then you need to know what is your target ROAS, and that is based in your profitability. Some businesses are super profitable, some of them less. So let's say your business might be profitable at 2 ROAS, but some businesses might be profitable only at 4 or 5. So that really depends on the selling price of your product and the expenses that you have, like product costs and shipping. This is something that I always kind of talk about with my clients, whether we run e-commerce ads or whether it's leads, that I always try to understand their numbers and seeing how much is the max that they are willing to spend on Facebook in terms of getting the result that they want. And then I have a strategy and I have a number to work with, and then I try to do my best to optimize for those numbers. Now let's talk about the leads. So what I'm really looking at in terms of the stats for leads. So to be straightforward with you, the only thing that I care about when it comes to leads is cost per result. That's pretty much it, because usually the leads or campaigns for leads that I run will be instant forms or messages, and that means that I'm keeping them inside the platform, so I don't really have link clicks. So I'll be always kind of measuring and just looking at this number. I do know that there are so many different stats and other data that you can look at, but bottom line for me, the most important part is to bring the results that my client needs and that he will be able to make profitable revenue for his business. But it is something that you need to sit down with your client and work out those numbers. So many times I ask my clients, hey, like what's the max that you are willing to pay for a lead? Or let's say, what is is your conversion rate. So when it comes to leads, that is a little bit harder to measure, and it's not like e-commerce where you have a dashboard that everything is there and you can look at those numbers and then just make decisions. So when it comes to leads, you need to really get those numbers from your client. I'm actually working now with a CRM that I can actually get those numbers, but I still need to ask my client to make sure to fill out all of these conversions and the revenue that his business has generated. And then based on that, when I have the conversion rate and the revenue and the profitability of the business, then I can say, okay, then even if you will, let's say, pay $10 per lead or $15 per lead, you will still be profitable. And for me, it's much easier to produce results when I have a target cost per result. So again, for leads, the only thing that I really care about is my cost per lead. Now, the last thing that we want to basically have a look at is going to be the testing, right? We test different audiences, we test different ads. So what do you do when something is not really working? So the first thing, let's talk about the audiences. So we have set up 3 different ad sets for different type of audiences. And let's say that our target cost per lead is $10. And the first one is generating, let's say, $5 cost per lead. This one is $20 cost per lead. And this one $10 cost per lead. So in this case, obviously the first one and the last one, which is $5 cost per lead and $10 cost per lead, these are within our target goal. So you don't really need to do anything to improve them because they're already performing. Now, for the one that is costing you $20 cost per lead, that's not good. Then we want to either turn it off or see what can we do to improve it. So the first thing that I would do is I would go and I will click on it, and then it will open me the ads that are inside this ad set. So we have basically image number 1 and we have image number 2. So if I can see that for some reason Facebook decided to spend all of our budget or most of the budget for image number 1, but this is what basically costs the high cost per result, and I can see that Facebook doesn't really spend anything on image number 2, then what I would do is I would just turn off image number 1 and I will let Facebook to start spending some money on image number 2. It will happen many times, and if you will go inside your ad sets and you will see the different ads that you run, you will see that usually Facebook will just select one of those and will push most of the budget towards this ad. So this is where you need to basically help Facebook to realize, okay, this is not working for us, so let's go ahead and spread the budget towards the second ad or video. So let's say image number 1 is not working and it cost us $20 cost per lead, so we'll go ahead and turn this one off. And then what will happen now, Facebook doesn't even have other option besides spending the entire budget of this ad set to the other ads that are available. And the reason why you want to do it is because you don't have any control over where Facebook spends your budget in terms of the ad level. So on the campaign level and the ad set level, you can control the budget, but you cannot control the budget on the ads level unless you only have one ad under this ad set. So what I would do is after I turn this one off, then I will give Facebook around 3 to 5 days to optimize with the new, let's say, structure of this ad set. And then after 3 to 5 days, if that still doesn't work, then what I will do is I will just go ahead and turn off this ad set over here and understand that, okay, I need to search for a different group of people that might work better for me because these two are actually working pretty well. Now let's talk about the first one, which is around $5 cost per result, which is half of what we are willing to pay to generate leads. So in this case, if my ad set is really profitable, then I want to start scaling it. So what I would do is I can go ahead and double the budget. So I will double the budget for this one because it produces such a great result for me. So I will try to go ahead and scale it. However, what about this one that produced me just around $10 cost per purchase, which is the max that I'm willing to pay? So in this case, I might just let it run for a couple more days to see if that can actually get optimized. But as long as the cost per purchase is up to $10, I'll keep running this one. If I see that it goes a little bit above $10, what I can do is actually go ahead and decrease the budget over here for, let's say, $10, and then let it run another 3 to 5 days and see whether the cost per result is getting better or not. In some cases, I actually found it to be helpful to play around with the budget, and our goal obviously is always try to scale up as much as possible, however maintaining the profitability or the quality of the results. Now, if nothing is actually helping, then as I mentioned before, I will just go ahead and turn off this ad set. And what I will do is I will take the one that is working for me and I can go ahead and duplicate this ad set and then try to pick a similar interest to the one that is working really well. Later on, whenever you will actually start collecting some good amount of data, you can go ahead and create those lookalike audiences, use your custom audiences, create much more profitable audiences, and you will stop using just cold interest. But to get to this point, you actually need to build a good amount of data. And lastly, just keep in mind that the time frame that I'm looking at will be almost always the last 7 days, because it's very important for me to make sure that I have ad sets that not only performed well at the beginning, but they still maintain the performance in the last 7 days. And if I adjust the budget, then I need still to see that the cost per result is getting better or getting worse, and do the necessary changes based on that. I know it's not ideal that I'm not actually showing you something that, or ad account that has data. Maybe I will ask some of my clients if he or she is willing to share their ad account and create some kind of case study based on their ad account. Then I would consider just creating something that you will see in real life, how I optimize my campaigns, my ads and the campaigns. Let me know in the comment section below if you actually want me to create maybe some kind of case study like that. But what important thing that I really want to mention over here is, if you're going to dominate or really have this process in your control of creating the right campaigns, the right audiences, just the way that I showed in this video, then most likely that the optimization process will be much easier for you. So when I go ahead and set up a new campaign, I really spend the time and effort to make sure that my first initial campaign is set up as properly as possible. And I can even tell you that from my experience, most of the times my first campaigns are actually the best ones. Oof, yeah, that was a long one. Believe me that I ask myself multiple times, do you really want to do this? Because trying to get everything I have in my head to a one single video, it's almost an impossible task. But I'm pretty happy with what I have came up with. I know that there will be some missing parts and some questions you might have, because all businesses are a bit different from each other. So please drop any questions you might have in the comment section below, and I will be more than happy to answer as many as I can. If you do want to have a one-on-one call with me to consult about your own personal situation, or you would like to work with my agency, then feel free to get in touch with me. No strings attached. I will make sure to leave my information down in the description below. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, peace.